Hey guys, in this video, we will be giving you guys the key takeaways and full summary of Atomic Habits, book by James Clear. Before we start the summary, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and click the notification bell to get updated about new summaries of business books every day. Introduction of the book. To have an atomic habit is to engage in a regular practice or routine that is not just little and simple, but also a wellspring of enormous power. When bad behaviors recur, it's not because you're unwilling to change. Rather, it's because your method for doing so is flawed. It's natural to resist change, but that doesn't have to be the case. Far from it. Change is actually good for us in both our personal and professional lives since it makes us more flexible, exposes us to new experiences and people, and opens up the doors to more opportunities. However, if you want to make a change in your life, you can do so positively by following these 6 steps. 6 ways to change your life for the better. Determine what you want to change and why you want to do it. Negative thoughts and feelings should be banished from your life. Do more physical activity. Develop a network of friends and family to lean on for assistance. Remove anything that isn't necessary. Take it one step at a time. The surprising power of tiny habits. Daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime adjustments, are what lead to success. With your present trajectory in mind, rather than with your recent outcomes, you should be more worried. A lagging indicator of your behaviors is how you perform in the here and now. In terms of financial health, your net worth serves as a lag indicator. When it comes to your eating habits, your weight is an indirect indicator of how well you're doing. Your ability to retain information is a byproduct of the pace at which you're acquiring it. Clutter is a lagging indicator of how well you keep your home tidy. As the saying goes, you reap what you sow. The difference between success and failure widens as time goes on. Whatever you feed it, it will grow exponentially. Good habits help you make the most of your free time. Bad habits are your worst enemy when it comes to managing your time. It's important to remember that goals are all about what you want to accomplish. Systems are all about the processes that lead to those outcomes, not the outcomes themselves. In order to know where you'll be in 10 or 20 years, all you have to do is follow the path of little profits or losses and observe how they add up over time. In order to achieve a great breakthrough, the necessary potential must be built up over a long period of time. Attempting to form a new habit or break an old one is not a sign that you are incapable of progress. Because you haven't passed what James calls the plateau of latent potential, you're prone to making mistakes. It'll be like an instant success when you eventually burst through the plateau of latent potential. In order to succeed in sports, one must establish objectives and work towards them. To keep playing the game, you need to develop systems. To be really long-term, one must let go of any preconceived notions of success or failure. Any one achievement isn't what matters most in this situation. A never-ending cycle of improvement and refinement is at the heart of this concept. Your development is ultimately determined by your dedication to the procedure. The compound interest of self-improvement is the habits we develop. Even a 1% improvement each day adds up over time. Habits are both a blessing and a curse. As a result, it's critical to know how to use them to your advantage. Until you exceed a key threshold, little modifications may seem to make no impact. The most potent results of any compounding process are held back until the last possible moment. Patience is required. An atomic habit is a small habit that becomes part of a bigger system. Atomic habits are the building blocks of astonishing achievements, just as they are for molecules. Do not establish objectives if you want better outcomes. Instead, focusing on your system, concentrate on it. No one rises beyond their aspirations. You are only as good as your weakest link. How your habits shape your identity. It's difficult to alter our habits for 2 reasons. First, we attempt to change the wrong thing, and second, we try to modify our habits in the incorrect method. A change in your results, a change in your processes, or an identity shift are the 3 levels of behavior change. What you obtain is what matters in the end. Processes revolve around your daily activities. Having an identity is a matter of what you think. The emphasis is on what you want to accomplish through behaviors that are outcome-based. It's all about the person you'd want to become with identity-based practices. When a habit becomes a part of your identity, it is the greatest type of intrinsic drive. A two-step technique is all that is required. Determine what kind of person you want to be. Small victories are proof to yourself that you can do it. Make a list of people who may be able to help you achieve your goals. Instead of focusing on what you want to do, try focusing on who you want to become. What you do every day shapes your personality. To be the kind of person you want to be, every action is a vote. To become the greatest version of yourself, you must constantly update your beliefs and upgrade and extend your identity. Instead than focusing on how habits might improve your performance, although they certainly can, consider how they could alter your perception of yourself. How to build better habits in 4 simple steps. Ask yourself, how can I make it obvious if you wish to improve your behavior? So, what can I do to improve its aesthetic appeal? Why is it so difficult? What can I do to make it more enjoyable? An automatic habit is one that has been practiced so many times that it becomes second nature. The ultimate goal of habits is to minimize the amount of energy and effort required to deal with life's challenges. Cue, desire, response, and reward are the 4 phases of a feedback loop that may be applied to any behavior. In order to improve our behaviors, we might follow the 4 laws of behavior change. First, make it evident. Second, make it appealing. Third, make it simple. And fourth, make it fulfilling. The man who didn't look right. Ask yourself whether this habit helps you become the person you want to be before deciding on how to grade it. Are these habits supporting or opposing the person I want to be? Once you've practiced enough, your brain will learn to recognize clues that indicate particular outcomes without you even realizing it. You don't pay attention to what you're doing once your behaviors become habitual. Awareness is the first step in the process of behavioral transformation. Before you can alter your behaviors, you must be conscious of them. When you point and call, you become more aware of what you're doing, rather than just doing it without thinking. In order to have a better understanding of your habits, try the habit scorecard. The best way to start a new habit. What you need to do in order to change your behavior is to make it evident. A lack of clarity is often mistaken for lack of drive by many individuals. According to the Diderot effect, it's common for a new purchase to lead to a chain reaction of purchases. In order to establish a new habit, you need first select an existing daily routine that already has your new behavior layered on top of it. Habit stacking is a term for this. Time and place are the 2 most prevalent cues. By setting a definite day and time for the start of a new habit, you may make it more likely that it will stick. Motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. The unseen hand of the environment influences human conduct. Changes in context, even little ones, may have a significant impact on behavior over time. Every habit has a stimulus that triggers it. Cues that stand out catch our attention more readily. In order to cultivate positive behaviors, it is important to make them visible. Eventually, your habits are no longer tied to a particular stimulus, but to the complete environment in which a behavior takes place. Surroundings serve as a trigger. Habits may be easily formed when you are not struggling against the old ones. The secret to self-control. When the first law of behavior change is inverted, it becomes indistinguishable from other laws. Habits are hard to break once they've been established. Self-control is more common among those who are less prone to succumbing to temptation. It's far simpler to avoid temptation than it is to fight against it after you've given in. It is one of the most practical strategies to break a bad habit is to minimize the amount of time you spend in front of the cue. It is not a long-term plan to exercise self-control, but a short-term one. How to make a habit irresistible. It's enticing because of the second law of behavior change. An opportunity's habit-forming potential increases in direct proportion to its attractiveness. Habits are driven by a dopamine-based feedback mechanism. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that increases our desire to do action. We perform action because we expect a reward, not because we get it. There is a direct correlation between the level of anticipation and the amount of dopamine released. One method to make your routines more appealing is to bundle temptations together. Pairing a desired activity with an unavoidable one is the key. The book in 3 sentences. To have an atomic habit is to engage in a regular practice or routine that is not just little and simple, but also a wellspring of enormous power. It's not that you don't want to change, it's that you have the incorrect structure in place to help you do so. If you're prepared to continue with little and seemingly insignificant changes for years, they'll add up to extraordinary outcomes. If you like the summary, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want to get updated about our newest summaries, click the notification bell to never miss one.